How to start meeting women. First things first, why should you listen to me? My name's Alex. You might notice, you might have noticed that from the channel. And I have spent the last 15 years teaching dudes how to do that, teaching guys how to create a dating life that they're happy with and they're proud of, okay? And get the goal that they want. Sometimes the goal is getting a girlfriend, getting like the love of their life and a life partner, finding true love, or sometimes the goal is casual dating, multiple girls that are infatuated with you and you can play that single life that way. And some clients want that as well, and I've done both because both are based basically on the same attributes, okay? I was shy myself. Look at these pictures, man. This is not how I started my journey, but this is me somewhat younger because, again, I've been doing that for 15 years. These are pictures from my life, and these are like 4 or 5 random pictures. I have like countless pictures like this where it's me with girls that like me, okay? And this is what it's all about, to be the guy, to create that communication where there's that flow between you and the girl. It's like, you know, it just works. And like I said, I was a little bit on the shyer side when I was younger, and then I discovered that I can change that. I experimented a lot and I figured out how, and I did, and I'm really happy I did. As I mentioned, I went on to teach other guys, hundreds of other guys, how to do that themselves, and all is well. So this is why you should listen to me. Okay, now, before we even start, if you are interested and serious about changing your dating life and achieving your dating goals, if that is finding a girlfriend, the love of your life type shit, or if this is being able to casually date as many awesome women as you want, I recommend that you should join the community. It's called the Masculine Choice Blueprint Community. We do one weekly group call. We do have Discord for daily support, and this is a community of dudes that are equally committed and will motivate you, will guide you. I am there daily guiding you as well. Of course, besides information, providing accountability and making sure that people move towards their goals. Together with that comes a big course, which is a download of everything I've learned the last 15 years doing that. So if you want that, click the link down below. And without further ado, let us get started. So here's what we're gonna talk about today. The contents are, what is the best way to start meeting girls? The commitment that you must invest in order to actually achieve that, in order to start meeting girls. How to do that, what the method is. Once we figure out what the best way is, then how to actually do it. And then a vision for that to kind of like walk you through the next few weeks or months, how that's gonna roll, okay? Now, what's the best way? Here's 3 different ways to meet girls that I have thought about, and they're all terrible, and I'm gonna actually reveal the actual best way in the end, but let's walk you through them first. Number 1, bars, clubs, and events. Okay, this is great to meet girls. There's a high concentration of amazing girls there, super high value, high quality, beautiful girls, and of course, if you go to the right events and the right types of environments, there are also smart girls, kind girls, great girls all around, right? However, with these things, there's usually 2 big disadvantages. Number 1, there's a barrier to entry, and aside from actual, money and connections that you need to get into these places, there's, talking to the bouncer. There's how to go, over the silk, like beyond the silk rope. So there's these environments pose kind of like a barrier. They're not immediately accessible. Whereas the best way that I'm gonna reveal, you can start as soon as this video ends. You can go and like meet girls, and amazing girls. Okay. And the other thing with these things is that competition is high because they are high energy environments, and there are guys in there who are making a killing, who know how to navigate these environments. You're looking at one, and these guys are gonna just blow you out of the water, especially when you are starting to meet girls, when you're coming out of your shell slowly, okay? So there's a time and a place for bars and clubs and events, but that's later down the line. Okay, now second, social media and dating apps. Also great place to meet women. In fact, you can meet women anywhere, bro. Like this is like you can meet a woman on the bus, right? So Social media dating apps, amazing to meet women. However, there's also a cost of doing business there. You need an amazing profile, amazing pictures. And this is like a very skewed Pareto distribution. The top 10% of profiles that are actually amazing are the ones that are getting like 90% of the girls. And besides that, there's tons of like bots there as well, and girls who are just there for attention and not to actually, meet guys. Generally, there is a way to make it work. I also meet girls through social media and dating apps, but this is also, for later in your development. It's also not the best way, the best bang for your buck, if you will. And third and least, or third and last, through friends, family, and your workplace, which is kind of crazy. I would not try to meet women through my workplace, except my specific workplace kind of like lends itself to that, but usually most workplaces don't. And friends and family also are not conducive to meeting the best types of girls. Most friend groups are not based on networking. They're based on common, interests. Maybe you have friends from work. Maybe you have friends from like other friends, or friends from, where like from school or whatever. If the friend group is not geared towards introducing you to amazing people, you're better off meeting people in some different way. So what is the actual best way? The actual best way is, if you're starting to meet girls, is to start meeting girls in the daytime, out in the open. That means on the street, that means in cafes, that means in parks, that means in, maybe a street festival, stuff like that, where it's like a low energy environment. There's no competition at all. People just don't approach girls. And by the way, like a crazy statistic, like 70, 80% of girls love to be approached, according to their own statements. And like 50% of dudes or more say that they're too scared to approach, right? This is like, there's no competition for you if you choose this. This is the actual best way you can meet girls right now. And there's no barrier to entry either. Like there's nothing to prep, there's nobody to talk to, there's no connection that you need to make to do that. You just go to the street, look at a girl, approach her, and meet her. Super simple, as simple as that, okay. Now, let's talk about commitment. This is not a thing where you're gonna go out and you're gonna meet the love of your life today. This is a practice that eventually will lead you to being a little better versed in the language that is connecting with women. And once you are, then, especially if you're in coaching, we can add like more layers on it, like things that are gonna make it easier to meet women. But this is, it's like the compound lifts. Okay, so actually, let me save the compound lifts comment for a little later when it's gonna make a little more sense. But what I'm saying is that this is a practice that you must commit to. This is not a once in a lifetime thing. This is a thing where you must do it every day. So weekdays. I suggest that if you don't do it every day, you do it at least 4 times a week. You go out specifically to meet girls. You allocate a time block and a location as well. So these 3 things are very important. So before you even start, I want you to commit to what weekdays you're going to be going out. And I need at least 4 weekdays. 5 is better, 6 is amazing, and 7 is amazing. Okay. The location, so before the week starts, I want every day assigned to a location. So like, this is the high traffic street in my area. This is the park where everybody chills. Okay, so on Tuesday, I'll be at the park. On Wednesday, I'll be at this. Like, you need to plan this out because you need to eliminate all friction, because when push comes to shove and emotions are at play and Wednesday morning comes, it's going to be so much easier for you to say, to skip the day if you need to do some extra work to figure out where you're going to go. Whereas if you have planned it already, there's no excuses. It's just you and yourself and you need to go. Everything's laid out for you. So I want this to be like that. Okay. And third, time blocks. I want you to create time blocks. So like from 2 to 4 p.m., this is the time where I'm going to be meeting women. And so at 2 I need you to be there, and I want you to keep going until 4. Okay, so 2 hours at a time should be plenty to meet enough women. Okay, and last but not least, a time frame. So I want you to have a time frame in mind of like 1 or 2 months where you're going to be doing this, where if we're doing this, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So if you're doing this, think, okay, I'm going to do it from now until 60 days later, and then I'm going to assess what happened. I'm going to see, look at my results and see if I liked it. If you do it for a few days, you're probably not going to like it because the results are not going to come in yet. Again, it needs investment of energy before you see the results coming in. So this is like a word of caution how things work. And if you commit like that, I guarantee you will see results for sure. Now, let's go into the house. So, okay, great, bro. Like, we figured out that we're meeting girls during the day. We figured out we're not going to clubs or bars, and we're committing and all that stuff. So, what do I do, bro? Like, help. Okay, I got you. So here's what we're gonna do. Number 1, the task is gonna be a walk. I want you to take your daily 10,000 steps. That's step number 1. This is the beginning and the end. Like, the reason why you're out is to do your 10,000 step walk, which could be a part of your fitness routine. And it's great. Walking is good for you anyway, and it definitely helps burn some calories as well. So, and if you're bulking, just fucking eat another donut meal, and you're fine. But generally, 10,000 steps a day is an amazing goal to strive towards fitness-wise, and it's a great excuse to be able to meet girls. The first thing you're going to encounter is what we call approach anxiety. And by the way, before I get into approach anxiety, I just want you to go to the high traffic area and walk enough to gather 10,000 steps. And it doesn't matter where you're walking, just follow your heart and just start walking around. Now, the first thing you're going to encounter is approach anxiety, which is a natural response of your, limbic system, I guess. I don't know much about brain anatomy, but what it is a response, a nervous system response that makes your heart beat faster, makes you feel scared, it gives you anxiety. Like, the thought of approaching a woman out of the open with other people watching you, like present in the moment, and you being exposed like that is really, really scary. So there's 2 tricks that we can use to mitigate that fear. There's a bunch more like resources that is available to delete that fear from your life once and for all. But 2 really great ones are, and we talk about this as well, but 2 really great ones is the $100 trick, or if $100 is too little for you, maybe you can do 1,000, where you give your buddy $1,000, and if you have not done your approaches for the day, which is another part of commitment, by the way, you need to commit to a set number of approaches. Like, I want to approach 3 girls a day or 5 girls a day, and I suggest that you start at 3 at least, if not 5. So again, you give your buddy $100 or $1,000, whatever actually feels like it hurts, and if you haven't approached 5 girls by the end of the session, he needs to tear up the money and burn it, okay, in front of you. So that's the one trick that's definitely going to force you to actually do it. And the second one is box breathing. It's what Navy SEALs do to calm down your nervous system. As you see the hot girl and you start walking towards her, you just inhale for 3 seconds, hold the breath for 3 seconds, exhale for 3 seconds, and hold the breath again in an exhaled state for 3 seconds. And then breathe in again for 3 seconds. And just keep going around the box. 3, 3, 3, 3, right? And you'll see after 2, 3 go rounds, you'll feel a lot calmer and more composed, which definitely helps with your approach. Another trick you can do is what I call throwaway compliments. It definitely helps with approach anxiety, but at the same time, it's not just to alleviate your anxiety, but also to put you in a more social state. What a throwaway compliment is You walk past a human, it could even be a dude. It doesn't have to be a pretty girl. And you just compliment something about them that cannot really be mistaken. Maybe something about their outfit, maybe their belt or something like that. And at the same time, you keep walking with you without wanting or needing anything in return. So when you do that, you see that not only do you get in more of a flowy, verbal, and social state where it starts getting easier for you to approach people, but also at the same time, you get good energy in return, because when people see genuine good energy coming at them, they want nothing more but to reciprocate. So you can absolutely do that. It's going to help. And last but not least, because I know you're going to ask me, I know you're going to have trouble with what you're going to say, is openers. And here's two that you can use. And the first one is, hello, my name is, and then you say your name. And when everything else, when you completely black out and there's nothing in here locked and loaded, then you just use this one because it's the simplest one. Or if you're feeling, more daring, you can go with a compliment, or you can call her out. Hey, woman in the red shoes, I like your cardigan, I like your belt. Usually compliment things about women that they put effort in, like their outfit, like their hair. Definitely not their eyes, definitely not other body parts. That's not gonna work in your favor. Okay, and then introduce yourself. My name is blank. So this is pretty simple. Okay, this is how to meet women. There's obviously a lot more that goes into this. There's a way to structure the interaction, the rest of the interaction, to actually go towards a date. But already you see here that you've met the woman. If you focus on just that for the beginning, you're golden. You don't need anything else. Okay, this is gonna carry you, this is enough information to carry you for so long if you're invested. Okay, now let's talk about the vision. This is how is this gonna look in the span of the next month. The first week, you're gonna deal with your approach anxiety. It's gonna be hard for you to approach girls, especially when your ego is at stake, especially when she is on the attractive side, especially when there are people watching and witnessing it, and exposing yourself to potential, ridicule in that way is stressful. So but at the same time, you see that the more brazen you are and the more daring you are, the less the environment, comes at you. The less, the more dominant you become, the less resistance you face from the environment. So you'll see that the more you do it, it becomes easier and easier. So that's what we're going to be dealing during week 1. In week 2, you will see that because it's gotten easier for you, you're going to start approaching more women. And because of that, your results are going to exponentially multiply. So you're going to be getting better results, approaching more women, gathering more experience and exposure. And week 3 is going to be your first actual results. So you're starting to get phone numbers here. You're starting to get good reactions back. And imagine that it's been 14 days that you had to grind through bullshit, getting none of that. Okay, so I'm preparing you for this now. How long was 14 days ago? What were you doing 14 days ago? Think about that right now. This is how long it might take for you to start getting a good reaction. And this is because you persevered for two weeks, okay? You might get a phone number here and there, and on week 4, you're gonna get your first hard results. And that's like dates. After 4 weeks of grinding, you can even get a girl out on a date, maybe even instantly, maybe on the spot sometimes. Okay, again, there's ways to learn how to do that, but for now, if you're starting to meet women, start dealing with the fundamentals here, and you'll figure out the rest as well. So start with the fundamentals. Don't worry too much about how to follow through past that, and that's it really. Again, join the community if you wanna take it more seriously, have more support. And I will see you in the next one. Subscribe and like, and kisses.